update on health for the Kings. So both Keegan Murray and Kevin Huerter could miss the season opener on Wednesday night. Over the weekend, we found out that Keegan was placed into the health and safety protocols, so he might miss Wednesday night and probably will miss Wednesday night. Huerter was at practice today, but he did not really play much at all. He wasn't really on the floor, and when the guys were running laps for missed free throws, Huerter was like doing push-ups. So his ankle is still obviously bugging him. So it looks like they could be without Keegan and Kevin Huerter on Wednesday night. But meanwhile, Rami, I got to talk about it on Friday night with the people. A convincing preseason was wrapped up on Friday night. They curb stomped the Lakers. Here was Coach Brown after the win.
The biggest thing for me is whether we competed or not. I don't care if we're up 20, down 20, it's tied. I don't care who's on the floor. I just want us to compete, and I want us to cheer for each other on both sides of the ball. And so for me, that's the biggest thing that I'm going to take away from this game. It feels good to win. But I felt, again, we competed, and it'd be interesting to go back and watch the film just to make sure that that's accurate.
So, by the way, we're hearing from some people in the YouTube section about some kind of echo. Not sure if it's still going on or not. So, if we could check that out behind the scenes. So, Brown said, "Look, effort. These guys, they want to play. They've bought in. They look like they're buying in." Your thoughts, Rami, about what happened on Friday night?
I wasn't able to watch it, Nick, because as you said, that game wasn't. Is this a normal thing, or is this because it's the preseason?
No.
All right. No. All the Kings games are televised. I'm gonna be able to watch every Kings game.
Yes, NBC right. Sports California.
Just wanted to make sure. And then the other thing I want to know if it's going to be a regular occurrence is if by chance I'm not able to watch a Kings game, I turned on SportsCenter to see the Kings highlights. And they got to it. They're like Kings, Lakers. Then they showed Russell Westbrook leave the game early with a hamstring injury. They showed LeBron make 2 baskets, and then they were like, "Oh, and the Kings blew him out by 50 points." I was like, "Oh, yeah, would have been nice to see at least 2 of those 50 points." I mean, but you have to if you were able to see it, you have to like what you saw. I have to assume just based on what I saw in the numbers and following people on Twitter as the game was going on. Just ran him off the court, Nick, and I was surprised how much Mike Brown went with his starters and key players for the last preseason game of the year. And the thing, I mean, I know this team can score, but to hold that Lakers team, which played LeBron for 18 minutes, and well, I guess nobody else really, but played LeBron for 18 minutes, held them to 86 points. It sounds like there was some good defense going on Friday night. Again, I wasn't able to watch it, but it sounds like there was some good defense going on Friday night.
Couple things. Brown in the pregame talked about KZ Okpala starting, and especially on the heels of this protocol situation with Keegan, I think we can safely move away now from the idea of Keegan starting, at least at the beginning of this season. He's not going to start. I would not be surprised whatsoever if it is Okpala who starts. I thought Domas was excellent in the first quarter. He was in the paint an awful lot, which is exactly where you want to see him. They played off of him very well. I thought he was aggressive, and the other guys played off of Domas very well. The offense looked good. They were moving the basketball. They had man movement. Domas was heavily involved with the basketball in his hands, which is always a good thing. Play off of that guy, and your offense will roll. I also think Terrence Davis, again, was the first guy off the bench. And look, this is no longer like preseason fodder. I think Davis is a part of this rotation. The other thing I would say is Davion and Fox both looked good from 3. They've shot the basketball pretty well from distance in the preseason. If that can translate into the regular season, this offense might be even better than we thought it was going to be. And finally, I agree with you, Rami. I was surprised that Coach Brown left his guys in there as long as he did in a blowout. I was not a fan of that, but fortunately nobody got hurt. I wanted him to pull the starters early on in that third quarter. He left them out there, though, for most of that third quarter in like a 45-point game, but it did not backfire for the coach, fortunately. Time to check out Coast